Are you listening? Damn.
See, so
Yeah, no, been
Yeah,
good.
trying to stay as busy as we can. I mean, fuck, there's a lot of fights, a lot of good fighters coming up, man.
oh dude, there's so much stuff coming up. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, this card this weekend at the Myth is pretty dope. I'm actually going to fly up to Minnesota again for that card. I'm not sure if you're going to be down there or not, but looking forward to that one.
Not because I am a broke fighter at the moment.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of our killers from our gym are on those cards. So
Yeah. No, I was going to say I have a lot of teammates, and don't worry, we are all broke fighters. I didn't find money until I fucking stopped fighting for sure. And then my job started paying me, it feels like.
Right, dude. Oh my god.
I'm just getting portions of it, so it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So is your next fight gonna be a pro fight, or is that one?
Yeah. Yep, it's pro debut. I'm actually Mohamed Aburia is my pro fight. So
dude, that's crazy. Sorry, TJ.
No, who offered that fight? How did Mahmoud come on the table? That's an interesting fight for a debut.
Jeremy from Jiller did. He actually offered it to me. I was working on fighting on a Fight Pass fight coming up in November against a guy that was on the Contender Series. I got beat up by Greg Hardy.
Okay.
Something happened with it, and it fell through. And then this Jeremy came on. I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll take on this dude." So
it's safe to say you're jumping right into the deep end as a pro. You don't have no, yeah.
Honestly, it there's nothing that really makes me want to fight a dude that's 0-10, or 5-4, or anything like that. I want to fight guys that are tough that are going to make me notice.
Yeah,
I know what I'm capable of. So it's just like.
It's like going out there and getting noticed right away instead of like the dangers of fighting a guy with like who's 0-10 or 1-10 or something like that is you go out there, even if you win, if you struggle to win, you didn't impress anybody.
Right.
Like no, it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, you got to win, but I mean, ultimately, morally, like inside yourself, it's like, damn, like I struggled against a turd, But when you go out there and you're competing against the best, no matter what you do, as long as you give it your best, you can always be proud of yourself, because you're going against the fucking best.
Yeah, that's the thing that the average person wouldn't understand, that I know fighters definitely would understand, is the added pressure that comes when you're supposed to win a fight. It's weird because you'd assume I'm supposed to win this. This is going to be easy. Have a fun day at the park. But then all of a sudden those thoughts start creeping in like, well, what if this guy fucking starches me? Damn, what if I'm the guy that loses to the guy that everybody says I'm supposed to beat? And it's just like, and 9 times out of 10, that never happens. The guy that's supposed to win, will win. But every once in a while we see Bruce Johnson come out and knock out Pat Schilling in 21 seconds at Treasure Island. And I'll never forget that one. But again, that was an exhibition fight. Didn't count.
It was. Yeah, we'll save that for another. Those are brutal days. Oh my god.
Yeah, we probably won't use that in your video. That was just every time I get a chance to talk about that fucking fight. But hey, Pat Schilling made it to the UFC undefeated. Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
Had to fight back all the way.
TJ, you already forgot. I'm recording already.
Hey,
I hit it. I don't know what we'll use. We'll probably keep all of this. It doesn't even matter. Like, this is about Jimmy, man. This is about the Bull Barnes right here.
I was gonna say, well, Jimmy Barnes. Let's get back on the topic.
Let's get back to that. No, I want to get back to what we were talking about before we started recording. This whole Connect 4 beef that you two got going on now.
Well, I mean, I don't want to brag, but in 3rd grade, I took 2nd place in an all-school Connect 4 tournament. And when this came up, my man Jimmy here tried to mention how he hasn't lost in quite a long time. So because of that, I'm making it official on this episode. I just bought a plane ticket to Minnesota. I'm flying up this weekend. We're playing Connect 4.
I'm down. I'm down to clown, my friend.
Yeah.
No training camp for this one, big dog. We're short notice. This is going down.
Sounds good
so
to me.
what are you gonna do to prepare for the techniques that TJ is gonna use in this Connect 4 battle?
I don't know.
None.
No.
None.
I got nothing on this one.
Were you when you were in like elementary school and stuff, did you guys have like all class like tournaments or like Were you in like after school programs or anything like that?
No, I never did any of that. I kind of stayed away from the nerdy stuff.
Oh man, dude! Now you're trying to make me feel bad, dude. I was one of those kids. Like I tried to be the one to like orchestrate the Uno tournaments and shit. Like,
Oh, dude, I love Uno.
If we're talking competition, I'm involved always. I'm just, it's in my blood to compete. But when it comes to after school programs, dog, if I didn't catch that bus home at 3, I wasn't going home. So there was after school programs.
You were probably too busy on the mats to be going to those chess and Uno tournaments and stuff like that.
For sure, dude. I love me some Uno. Then they got crazy and they made Uno Attack.
Yeah.
Then it just got my world flipped upside down.
Lost a lot of friends over that game. I did.
If they're not down for the ride, they're weak anyways. OTSS, only the strong survive.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, you're about to pick up 4.
Oh my God, dude, drunk Uno too. Like as you get to adults, it's like you thought it was gonna get like, oh, we're adults, we're gonna do a little bit better. Nah, it's worse. Like, I mean, beer pong too, anything. I mean, dude, like especially like when I'm around like playing any type of drinking game with fighters, it's like it doesn't escalate into a fight. It just escalates into like, no, I'm better than you and I'm gonna do. Oh my God, I never remember after a certain time.
Oh, dude, I've never played drunk Uno, but it sounds fun.
Oh man,
anything's a real good excuse to drink. But so Jimmy, last we seen you had a tough fight back on September 27. Yeah. What's life been like? From what it sounds like and from what you've been posting, did you even take a day off or did you just go right back to the gym on Sunday?
No, I was literally back on Sunday night. I mean, I was a little beat up, but I mean, I was back on Sunday. I was running. I was, honestly, I've been obsessing over striking and all the things all my holes in my game that I saw that night. I've been obsessing over them. So.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was really impressed talking with you after the fight too, because we did cross paths. We had a chance to share some words, and man, your attitude even after a loss is just spectacular, dude. Like, and knowing that you're right back in the gym sewing up those holes and saying that you've been obsessed with striking, like what have you, I mean, granted that you do have a fight coming up now, what were you just, when you got back into the gym, was it just striking, and is that something that you're going to continue to do leading up to this fight?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm always, like I said, I'm still doing jits once, twice a day. I'm still, I'm still doing my MMA and all that stuff. But honestly, I'm working with Angel Pacheco on my striking quite a bit. I'm working with Tim Taggart out of Hinckley. So I'm working with a lot of these good different boxing coaches and of course my coach Mark Gold also. So I mean, I'm just obsessing. I'm putting 4 to 5 hours in just striking. So it's something like with this loss, it was something I needed. I almost needed it in a way because I haven't lost in almost anything in quite some time. So I needed this loss just to really know where I was at.
A lot of fighters have said that, and most people don't really understand until it actually happens to them. Like the extra motivation and the drive that you get after a loss, and knowing that you have holes in your game and stuff. It opens your eyes a little bit. What else don't I know? And I don't know if you've seen the video with me where me and TJ were talking about how we've never interviewed a guy about a loss or been able to talk to him, like, because I never want to go up to a guy. It seems disrespectful, to ask him, hey, what's it like to lose? I'll show you, motherfucker. That's usually how I feel, but like talking to you afterwards, like you didn't sound bitter about it. You didn't make any excuses about it at all, man. I mean, you handle it really well. And I mean, I can see it in your mentality. And I mean, the way you're driving your answers right now, like, it's just one of those things that happen. And it's never going to happen again. It seems like,
that day.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I cut you off. I didn't hear anything of what you just said. I'm sorry.
It's all good, man. No, at the end of the day, he was the better fighter. He came out, he performed. You can make excuses for what you did, but ultimately you lost. I lost. Simple as that. So what I want to do is do I give up or do I keep going, or do I aspire to do a lot better? And that's what I'm trying to do. If anyone could easily quit. I could have quit halfway through that fight. He hurt me early, and it's like it's either put up or shut up, man. Honestly, it's one of those things.
And I'm glad you said that, because that was one of the things that Damian and I really touched on in that fight was, you really showed that night the heart of a true fighter. And, this is something to where I seen it during the fight. And as Damian mentioned, the way you approached us, you found us that night and you wanted to talk about everything. That just showed me that you're in this. You generally love this sport. And, a lot of guys, believe me, we've seen it, especially on the amateur ranks. They like to beat guys up. But when they're on the receiving end or they have their first loss, they're never the same. I didn't get that vibe at all. The fact that you're right back in the gym, and then to find out that not only did you decide to make the pro jump, but you're jumping into the deep end on the pro ranks as well right away. No easy fights. I tip my hat to you. Was this something that you knew all along? Like you said, you kind of touched on it earlier. Truthfully, we've been talking, so I'm not sure if it was on camera or not. But you mentioned how you're only looking for the tough fights. Beating a guy you're going to beat, there's not really satisfaction in that.
No. For me to go, like I was saying to you guys before, it's like, to me to go against a guy that's 0-4 and 0-5, it's not, it'll pad my record, but ultimately, what's it going to do for me? It's just going to give me that. It's not going to give me that struggle I need. This last fight with Tommy, it really showed me where my holes were and what I needed to work on before I hit that pro level. And it showed me I need to put my hands up about an inch higher. But for the most part, it's all about getting in there and getting better. If you want, either you can. That's the difference between amateur and pro, I think, is the person. If you lose, are you ready to right what you did wrong the last time and get better and take on way better competition? Because if I wanted to stay in the local level and just fight, guys that are 0-4 and 0-5, that's where I'm going to stay, is local. I want to go higher than that, and I want to continue to represent this sport the best I can.
I think we've seen it locally. Especially the guys that have had the padded records, the guys that weren't necessarily fighting the best of the best, they got a really good record, got known locally pretty well, and then one day got the call or got a shot at the big time, and then they weren't ready. It's not necessarily if they were mentally ready for it. They weren't ready for it from the competition that they had seen. And and that's one of the things that I think does affect a guy mentally in the long run is once you go against somebody who's a real killer, you're going to start questioning all the guys that you've actually beat. Like, was anybody that I ever beat on this guy's level? Because your opponent is most likely going to say, dude, I've fought guys that were way tougher than this guy. And if he can say that and you can't, you're at a way disadvantage, son.
Yeah.
And with you taking on tough fights as an amateur and now as a pro, I don't think that's ever going to be a problem with you in your pro career.
No, I'm willing to, it was funny, dude. I was willing to take anything that comes away. I was even probably overstretching a little bit. I'll take on a dude that's 7-0. I don't care. Give me that pro shot. That's all I want. I wanted that pro shot. And I think this last fight, I proved that I'm ready. I proved. There's holes in my game, obviously, but I proved I was ready.
Yeah, there's nobody that I can think of right now that has proven that they're as tough as you. And when you put the skills together with your toughness, it's hard to stop a motherfucker like you once everything gets put together, we talked on it previously in the other interviews that we've done with you, but I know you have a wrestling background, but other than wrestling, what inspired you to originally get into MMA? Was it just you saw it on TV and you was like, I could be one of those guys, or did you just always have just a drive to just punch people in the face one day?
Honestly, it's always something I've wanted to do since when I was back in my wrestling days, in high school and in college. It was never really a reality because I smoked cigarettes at the time. I was, overweight, stuff. I did all those things that a never made fighter shouldn't do and compete in MMA. So I've dabbled in and out, but, it's always been kind of an inspiration, for me, it's like I know I have the talent to do it. And it's just like, up until a couple of years ago, I mean, I lost all that weight. I quit smoking years ago. That's my inspiration. That's what keeps me going. Now you guys, like you said before in my last interview, I quit my job. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I mean, that's my ultimate, that's my number one. But now it's about feeding my family.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cut out for a second. I didn't hear any of that, but TJ, did you?
No, I heard it. It came through clear, and I couldn't agree more, Jimmy. Like me and Damien had talked about it before. We're all for the families on the show. I got a son myself. I tip my hat to you because I know how busy he keeps me. You got a daughter and twin sons. I mean, staying at home.
Yeah.
I got to imagine your hands have to be full. Going to the gym might almost seem like a break compared to the rest of your day.
It was awesome. It was yesterday. I was in at jiu-jitsu and I bring them with me. They're always with me at the gym. And usually people are holding them, and it's great. It's great family over there too. So people at Star Jiu-Jitsu are amazing. They're family. So anyway, one of them just started screaming at the top of his lungs. And usually if they're crying a little bit, I'll be like, okay. If they're whining a little bit, I'll continue training. But no, this dude was screaming at the top of his lungs. And it's like, all right, well, I think it's time to leave. So, I mean, it's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. I used to work with, civilly committed sex offenders, and the worst of the worst. And then this job is, this one. I sent you my clip, Davian.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude! I'm like, I can only imagine, just because I mean, when that's going on, or you have two twin sons crying at the same time. There's only one of you. You got to get both of them to stop crying. I mean,
sometimes I just sit there in my arms, and they're just freaking, just crying, and it's like, all right, well, let's all cry together.
Oh my God! Do you ever get to get them to just calm down just by like kind of just hanging around them? Just, I mean, if they start whining and you just like kind of walk by and like check on them, they'll stop. I mean, because
90% of the time they're pretty good. 90% of the time they're pretty good, and then the other 10% to speed me now. Hurry the up.
See, I don't have kids, and I've never went through any of this. The time where I did date a woman who had a kid or who had two kids, they were already at the age of talk. You've seen Big Daddy, right? They could wipe their own ass. I didn't really have to do much for them, But man, I can only imagine just how stressful that is, and how crazy it is to try and balance that with training and personal relationships and everything. Like, man, there's just more power to you. And how has all of that been going? Like, how's just enjoying being a father, enjoying I don't know, training. I mean, you mentioned that they're at the gym. You have the teammates picking them up, holding them. Having kids that are going to be raised by fighters.
And the boys, they're going to be little fighters themselves.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. No, honestly, it's me being able to do this right now is a gift. Honestly, it is. It's been, obviously it hurts us financially because I'm not able to do that other job and whatever and all those things. So, kind of life has been kind of taking a turn on that level. But, with all that aside, I mean, I know what I'm doing, and these are for my twins. I'm able to be at home with them, and I don't have anyone else having to watch them. Yeah. They're getting the full love from Daddy, and
yeah.
Price.
Oh yeah. Was a little bit of the financial reason part of the decision to go pro, or were you?
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned you were already going to go pro anyway. We've talked about that, but was that something because as an amateur, you're going out there, you're risking the same thing as a pro, but you're not getting compensated for it. Right. But now you're in a position to, and I mean, that's got to feel better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And honestly, when the financial thing was a big one too, and I'm not getting any younger for one. I mean, I'm going to be 32 years old. I want to make a good run at this and make it to a big promotion and stuff. I got to start making moves and starting to do those kind of things.
Yeah.
But also, honestly, on an amateur level, I mean, there's a lot of tough guys out there. I'm not going to say there's not. But I think I fought the toughest in the Midwest at the. I literally fought the toughest. Yeah. I would say.
Yeah.
I don't think I could probably get any tougher in the Midwest at the moment. So it's like, so why not?
Especially with training partners, the guys that you fought, I mean, yeah, age and everything, timing's right. See,
And a plus side, with me fighting Tommy, I got a training partner out the deal. So I'm going to be working out with Tommy Peterson twice a week now.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Dude, I love when guys do that. I love that. When you start to cross train, it's like, hey, you were able to expose something. Show me what you did to expose that. And it's like, yeah, I'm never going to let that shit happen again.
Iron sharpens iron, my friend. That's what I'm saying for that, And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. The bonds you build with a guy you fight, I mean, that's the fans are always there. They're there for the handshake and the hug immediately after the fight. But, I mean, you truly do build a bond with a guy when you spend 9 to 15 minutes just punching each other in the face. Whether you like each other or not, it's one of those ones where you look and you just kind of tip your head a little bit and just move on with your day.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited to see what the future, what the future holds. I know for one thing, I know that I will meet Tommy Peterson again someday.
Hey.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like he and I said, we're gonna do it for some decent amount of money.
Oh hell yeah! Dude, you guys should have got paid for that first one, man. That one. I mean, granted, tickets and stuff, but man, I wish that we could change that in MMA. I mean, even in boxing, granted that there's kids that are doing amateur boxing. MMA, you have to be 18 or older to do it. We're all adults. If I can put some money in our pockets, we're risking some shit, The commission needs to change that rule.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that, they could explore. I get it's called amateur for a reason, but, what we do when those lights turn on, that's a fist fight all the same at the end of the day. You can get knocked out just the same, and you can get hurt just the same, but you're doing it for, 20% ticket sales if you have a good promoter. But,
good stuff. I saw he had a really good fan base, and I think I sold over 60. So over 60 seats. So I did pretty well too.
There was a lot of Jimmy Barnes shirts in the crowd.
Yeah, there was, man. There was.
And speaking of that too, it was funny. Right after the fight with Tommy's we were kind of we did our hug. He's like, dude, let me get one of those awesome shirts.
Yeah.
I ended up getting one of his, and we exchanged them. It was he's a good dude. I like him.
That's really
respectable.
That's a growing trend that you're seeing happening in MMA lately, especially in the UFC with the jersey aspects, because they take it from soccer predominantly, but where the captains will exchange jerseys. But I've been seeing that a lot, and that's awesome to know that you guys did that as well. And you mentioned that was a great cap to an amateur career. Who knows what's in store? The one thing we do know that's in store is the pen's been signed to paper. December 21st, you're gonna fight Mahmoud Albaria. You mentioned, you got offered the fight and you just take it. What do you know about Mahmoud going into this fight?
I know he's tough. I've heard Jim Clark talk about him, when I was there for a short period. I heard him talk about him. I know he's a tough dude. I do see he hasn't fought MMA since 2012, but that's irrelevant. Honestly, for me, he's going to be a tough opponent. I know he's kind of stayed busy and he's done things and whatever. But, this fight, my last fight, I'm more or less worried about what was he going to do. This time I'm worried about what I'm going to do. I'm going in there with my game plan, with my way of doing things. And, I think you guys are going to see a way different Jimmy Barnes that night.
Man, hell yeah. I love that. And I love when guys focus on what they want to do, because it starts to you see the transformation in the fight, and I hopefully we do see a transformation in the fighter that you are. And and not that you haven't been fighting good. You've been whooping ass, but a transformation is the growth, because when I starting off watching a guy, because I'd seen you at your, I think it was your first MMA fight or right around your second is when I met, it was your first MMA fight when we met. And then you start to see the jumps that you make when from the first fight, not really knowing too many submissions, then going right up to the second fight. So, those attempts, those fucking throwing off. Oh my God. It's like you start to see fighters make those jumps, and I'm expecting to see a big one from you when you make your pro career, or when you make that jump from amateur to pro as well.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know he's going to bring a lot of toughness, experience to the table. From here on out, it's nothing but business now.
Yeah, and man, I kind of kept rambling for a second, but what I was trying to say a second ago is I loved seeing the growth of a fighter and the jumps that they make. I don't know if I made that clear when I was saying it a second ago. I had it in my head what I wanted to say, but I didn't come out right. I do that a lot on this show.
Good. I remember actually being in Valhalla, and it was funny. Like when I first kind of started doing MMA, I remember sparring with you, dude. I was just like, fuck am I doing kind of deal, with my head. I had that really high grappling, I was really good with grappling, and I was even okay with submissions at the time. But yeah, dude, I didn't know my head from my ass when it comes to striking. I mean, and we found out my last fight, I got one hell of a chin, that's for sure. But
oh hell yeah.
But all kidding aside, I'm gonna go in and look for knockouts. I'm still, just because of a dude outstruck me last time doesn't mean that it's gonna happen again. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like you said, you're training with him now, and he's going to be able to show you the things that he was able to capitalize on, and that's how you fix those holes, man. And man, I fucking love that you guys are going to be working together. That's actually pretty fucking scary now. Both of you guys are going to end up being way scarier.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, you two are going to be training, and you're going to be training with Maurice. He's like, dude.
That's another one too. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and he's going to for his fight in Singapore, and he looks amazing. He looks sharp, so it's going to be a really good fight for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say shout out to Maurice, who competes later this month. And that's one of the things that I'm really picking up from you just talking here today is, I mean, you truly do understand the jump that you're making here from the amateurs to the pros. And it sounds like you're putting all the work in. I mean, we're still 2 months away from this fight. I'm sure we'll talk more in depth as it comes along. But, I mean, what do you see yourself being able to forecast? I mean, how do you see yourself in 2 months? I mean, the amount of work you put in, hours every day. I mean, what do you expect Jimmy Barnes to bring now? And then we're going to talk to you again in a couple of weeks, and we're going to see where you're at that point.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to be light years ahead from what I was, yesterday. That's what I do. I soak up everything I do. I'm constantly putting in the time. I'm constantly putting in the effort. I'm constantly seeking people out that are better than me, honestly, that are better than me and that are better at what they're doing so that I can get better. I am going to put in hours and hours and hours of work. Believe that.
Yeah, dude, I love it. And I love having you on, man. It was great to have you on for an Inside the Trash Can. Dude, I mean, I can't wait to have you on again before this fight too, dude, because and we're going to have to see some videos of you hitting the pads and everything. I need to track the growth myself because I'm not in the room with you anymore, man.
And you know what? And I'd go down there and spar with you guys and do all that, but I'm kind of going against Valhalla guys.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So,
man, that's the game we play in. It's a small pond, so sometimes the fish have to cross hands. So I look forward to this fight. When I first woke up, it was actually this morning, and read your text message when you told me about the fight. I was like, wow. I mean, that's really a scrap. I expect 3 rounds of just beaten. So I expect both guys. One of the things here,
I'm glad he took the fight, and I'm glad he's going to be fighting with me. I've heard nothing but good things about his talents, and that it's going to be an awesome fight. We're going to put on a show. I hope everyone comes out to that event. We pack the house.
I can guarantee that. I know it's going to be sold out. Driller always brings great shows to Canterbury Park. So, Jimmy, again, appreciate your time. This was Inside the Trash Can, sponsored as always by Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, and Mile High CBD Buds. We out. Nope, we're not out. Like and subscribe to the YouTube page. That was a live blooper that you guys just got right there.
Oh, yeah. Like and subscribe, baby.
Damien, or Trash Talk with Damien and TJ. Do it. Now we're out.